Today I'm going to say everything. Everything I know, everything I've observed, everything that would normally get somebody canceled and you'd be afraid to say, because I really don't think we have a future anymore. AI's ability to flood the internet with fakeness and completely overshadow all algorithms, as well as all the platforms' ability to program people through these means, is unstoppable. So this is the end of the era. I'm going to speak about our nation, our government, what I've observed from the inside, as well as all of the polls that I did on my channel that were very taboo, where we asked people everything from who would you rather babysit your children, which is original Nazis, LGBTQ+, Jews and Zionists, etc. So you get an idea where all these polls were going, but there were 30 of them, and they do show me the presence of psyops in our culture, as well as the actual intelligence of people to see some things, because there's some themes in there. So, right now, Israel went ahead and attacked Iran because they allegedly are right away from having nuclear weapons. Okay, well that's a tune we've all heard before, a bunch of times. And then we have attacks, or false flag attacks, much like 9/11, that have us go on big wars and create things like Patriot Acts that allow the United States government to surveil everybody. Right now, everybody, MAGA people, including myself, elected Donald Trump because we wanted to see some values in the United States, taxes to go down, wasteful spending to go away, a strong, worthwhile nation for all. And the ones that were kicking and screaming are a lot of blue hairs that think rights are being taken away when they weren't. So we all stood up for that. But what we have suddenly is a big, beautiful bill that came out after Doge not getting the opportunity to do that much savings. That is a massive spending bill, trillions of dollars. But the scariest thing in there is zero regulation on AI for 10 years, with no state having the power to regulate it at all. Well, it's not going to take 10 years. It's only going to take a couple for the government to have full totalitarian surveillance control, surreptitiously, well, you don't know. The ability for the internet and social media already to program us is massive. Look at all the crazy people out here right now. It's all because of social media and programming, and something that I've seen firsthand from being a YouTuber for the last 6 years. But with AI, it's game over. There's no coming back for that. And these evil tech billionaires that say, well, if we don't like a law, we can just vote it out. Nope. And they know that. It won't matter. If we have a government and we vote, it's just a shell. It's just a stage play. And frankly, right now, it pretty much is anyway. It's over if that goes through. It's probably going to be over anyway, but at least it would be a fight. So that alone makes the big, beautiful bill the most horrific, evil thing of all time probably ever passed in the United States, or tried to be passed. Elon Musk was wildly against it and then capitulated soon after. They did a childhood name calling thing, which you wondered if it was just a stage play or not. I hope we're all getting played and old Trumpy will do something, because, you know, he almost got killed in Butler. So us as Americans, we would hope that he's going to do the right thing and knows that he's at the later stages of his life and is willing to completely risk his life to do the right thing. But I don't know. And none of us know right now, because old Israel is going to drag us into a war. They're our ally, even though we give them billions of dollars. Give them billions of dollars for what? The little bit that they sell us in return? Somebody once told me that Israel is basically the aircraft carrier of the Middle East, and I'm like, okay, I kind of get that, but no, that's not it. So this teeny tiny nation that was built in the early 20th century because of global bankers getting the British government to do it. And the British government propped up Israel that used to be Palestine until just after World War II. And then, of course, they got the United States to do it because the United States was the rising power in the world and they could get Britain to do what they want. So we got stuck with them. And they'll never get along. They never can get along. And maybe it doesn't matter. That's not worth talking about because people don't really see that and get that. But you know, the front is coming from elsewhere. J.D. Vance, his story was too perfect, wasn't it? Oh, the poor guy from Ohio, everybody was drug addicted, then just got supported by Peter Thiel, a tech billionaire since his early days, and school, and then writes a book that was kind of too perfect. And then, wow, got Ron Howard, who directed Apollo 13 and Rush, to make a film about his life in Ohio. That didn't make a whole lot of sense. Critics loved it. Public, not so much. Got to promote that. Became senator real quick and then cruised right into VP. Also, his wife was introduced to him from his buddy, old Vivek Ramaswamy. Vivek Ramaswamy, who's first generation American and was raised Indian and Hindu, but then just changes to Christianity because it matters for his politics. And got his college scholarship paid for by the Soros family. Didn't go to college or even his postgraduate work in Ohio anywhere. And then became worth hundreds of millions of dollars because he bought the rights to a failed pharmaceutical drug, built a company around that, made it public, market cap of over $1 billion, and then sold out shares of his for something like 130 some million dollars before the company ultimately tanks because the drug did exactly what they knew it did when they bought it, fail. Isn't that a neat way for the billionaire class to manufacture somebody and say, oh, we tried? Seems like it to me. So this guy wants to run for president, and the Republicans are like, hey, neat, a brown guy that's got all Trump's talking points. Maybe the libs will leave us alone. But that's all it was, is a graft or a grift from Donald Trump's talking points, even though none of his companies lived like that, and wokeness. Even though he was on the board of directors for COVID, they tried to wipe that from the internet, even though he practiced DEI in his companies and then suddenly doesn't like it. Oh, he also writes a book and then goes on a big presidential, thinks he's going to become president, even though he can't even get the vote of Krispy Team Christie. So he just punches out, even though he's been on a massive media tour over and over again, which, by the way, is raising his net worth. Not actually doing anything for the country or people, building any legitimate nonprofits or business or employing people, but he's on a big media tour with the Republicans to raise his net worth. So he backs out of the presidential election. And since he hired everybody left over from Donald Trump's 2016 campaign, maybe he can just dovetail into VP. So he's out there campaigning for him. Then old J.D. Vance gets VP, and old Vivek is now Doge with Elon. Oh, but when it comes about time to do Doge, he's suddenly out and things are weird. And he's going to run for Ohio governor, even though he has no businesses here, he did no philanthropy here, didn't go to school here. Nothing Ohio about him. But what he does want to do is turn the Ohio River Valley into a Silicon Valley. Why? Because Ohio has Lake Erie and the Ohio River. A lot of nice natural cooling for computer infrastructure. Infrastructure needed by massive amounts of data centers going up, like in Bowling Green, Ohio. Hundreds and hundreds of acres of farmland being made into data centers, which have full priority of the power here. And then those river valleys, which is just a bunch of Ohio rednecks and blue collar and farming folk anyway, suddenly going to be a place for the cooling of AI and such. AI with a big beautiful bill that Donald Trump now has that's completely unregulated. AI from people like Elon Musk and Peter Thiel and the Palantir CEO for full government control and surveillance. Funny, old Vivek got his college scholarship from the Soros family. Why is it that a piece of shit that wanted to manipulate me into being a congressman was bragging about a voicemail he has from George Soros to me and playing it at CPAC? And then when I wouldn't bend and change who I am, just vanishes and then seems to have gone to work for someone else's campaign? Someone who tans really well, but likes to be barefoot during his interviews and graphs all Donald Trump's talking points. Was Donald Trump a Trojan horse for all of us actual Americans that really want our country and future to be better? Or was he totally taken over by Israeli and big tech billionaires? I guess we're going to find out. This is not a good time. This is not a good time. Yeah, I'm still working on the Omega car, I'm a watch company and such, but I'm having to get mentally and emotionally ready for a world war and surveillance through computers, which is only a dystopian sci-fi future. So you run scenarios through your head that I really can't talk about even now. It's not good. When did the United States actually have a real government for the people? Have we ever? Was it the world bankers taking it over? Was it simply the Federal Reserve and who's behind that? If I control a nation's wealth, I care not who makes its laws. It's very true. We live in a stage play. It's a theater. Of course, I built a car that gets over 100 miles a gallon and is recyclable. It's better for people. Because I know it's a theater. Of course, Israel's trying to drag us into their bullshit war and make it about religion, whether it's about Jews or Christians or Muslims. It's not. Never was. Of course, they're going to create anti-Semite laws a year or so ago when nobody's really anti-Semitic in the United States at all. Because they know there's a possibility people aren't going to like what's going on with Israel pretty soon. And they want to shut up opposition. Damn, man. You know, with Genius Garage for the last decade, I've mentored young people, not getting paid, different backgrounds, different countries. Actually, some from India, first generation American and fresh off the boat from there. Different sexualities, yeah. People from basically every continent where people are here in America, because I think it's the right thing to do. Many people from all of the groups that they're trying to divide America with. Black. Oh, and then that didn't work with George Floyd and Ferguson. Oh, rainbow community and trans people. Oh, that didn't work well enough. Oh, it's going to be the Jews and anti-Semitism, while Israel goes completely off the rails. Oh, now it's Mexicans. Oh, we're going to try to do that. Okay. Well, the thing about it is, I'm conservative, I'm white, I'm straight, I'm the thing everybody wants to attack. But for the last 10 years, I was the guy that went out and built the recyclable, high-efficiency car that's good for all. The thing that the left should want to do, that cares about the environment, even though they don't. And helping all of these people pick up the slack where the American educational system fails and getting them amazing jobs, which I've done, to my own detriment. So I don't give a damn anymore if anybody wants to cancel me or literally call me anything. Racist, bigot, dick. I really don't give I don't care. Because I've done it right. And I don't think we have a future. I don't know. I'm really wondering where on planet Earth anybody has a future. Europe's a mess. Why is it all the politicians there went kooky dukes left and started allowing illegal migrants in that are primarily Muslims into Europe? Gosh, isn't it interesting if Israel were to drag the United States into a war and want the West in it? You'd kind of want the West to be tired of Muslims for the stage play, wouldn't you? Which is sort of perfect to get support from Europe, even the people that are nationalistic and care about the countries, and somehow get behind little old Israel, who picked a fight and is the most genocidal people seemingly in the world right now, killing all the Palestinians for sport and fun, and slowly just pushing it back and pushing it back. And we're not supposed to notice because we're anti-Semitic and they're God's chosen people. Yeah, maybe in, I don't know, the Old Testament. But where's your prophet? Yeah. But you know what? This isn't about religion. It's about people. So the question is, why can't they get along? Well, it's probably, if anybody can't get along, it's in their best interest not to get along. False flags are very real. USS Liberty, 9/11, Tonkin Gulf. Bullshit. Done by psychopaths in power upon their own people or their connections to drag people into giant wars for money and power. Why is it that basically everybody in power of the world leaders and billionaires, they're functioning psychopaths, the vast majority of them, dark triad personality traits, etc. And then they use all these methods through media and theater and programming, religion, class, to divide everybody and put us all down It's easy for them. They never cared about people or having normal life. They don't touch grass. They don't raise kids like us. Look at old Elon Musk. Everybody likes him. How many baby mamas does he have? How much time does he have? Do you really think he gives any time for his kids? You know, I didn't want to keep working on cars just because I don't have enough time for my one kid and wife. You think any of these piece of shit billionaires give a crap about anything you or I do? No. They all are their own God and building AI, which is nothing more than a synthetic God. And while I'm not going to go on a religious crusade at the moment, I will say that AI is the absolute embodiment of Satan and evil. It will directly destroy the human experience and the entirety of a soul's journey to be here. There's of no value to it, that power. Even as a nation, the United States, or let alone the world, have we ever agreed on a common goal together and constructed and made anything better? Art in the United States is garbage now. It's basically all just influenced and destroyed and put down by communism. Classic art is gone. Classic architecture is gone. Are we reading? Are we doing anything more? We're all addicted to this. Who made us addicted to this? You know, my criticism of Dubai is that they have modern day slaves. People from Indonesia, Bangladesh, that sort of thing, where they pay them to work there and give them a place to live. But it's a very small amount of money. Very, very small amount of money for a first world country. But it's a lot of money for those people. So all the men from these impoverished countries can come and live somewhere in Dubai, but they hold their passports and they're stuck. That's modern day slavery. You can call it what you like, but that's basically what it is. But the beauty is of doing it that way, they can justify it to everybody else, and everything's so beautiful. So drive down the highway in Dubai and all the beautiful shops, Ferrari, Lamborghini, Rolex, Patek Philippe, Louis Vuitton. What's on the other side of them? Ah, the worker camps, or the modern day slaves. Virtually biblical wonders of the modern world there. But in the biblical times, there was slave labor. Slave labor all over the world, even though they'll just use whoever does it at any given time. But the fact of the matter is, we all live in a stage play, and we're all basic slaves to a system of debt and money, that's fascinating. Who is it that controls money? The world bankers. And you know the funny thing is, these polls that I've done, communism, capitalism, socialism, right-wing fascism. United States, capitalism-ish. But if you can make big nations fall to communism, there's darn near infinite amounts of power and money that can be attained by certain kinds of people. So I did a poll on my channel, who is it that profits from a nation falling to communism? Global bankers, 1. Liberal politicians, 2. Everybody else gets screwed. And the nation goes to hell. Humanity goes to hell. But it doesn't matter because those two get power and money. You know, I always wondered why the United States is being divided. Same plays the communists have always done. See, you're not going to win against the United States with an all-on assault. We all have guns, more guns than people. And a lot of people are ready to go. We got a big armament. So the way to make the United States fall is to destroy them at the social fabric, which has been tried for half a century or more, is the division between black and white. Didn't really work. So light the afterburn in 2020. George Floyd, black, then rainbow community, didn't work. Oh, now we got Jews and anti-Semites. So it really wasn't a thing. But Israel's kind of a problem. And then Mexicans. All the while letting in massive quantities of military-aged men from every country that doesn't like us or have any values from around the world. Here. From the inside out, you destroy it. And hasn't the division pushed us toward communism with the Democrats? Fully radicalized loonies? That's why nobody can deal with that anymore? Socialism, communism, anarchy. And the Republicans, they keep calling us fascists. And people are going farther and farther that way. Right wing. Full government control. Full surveillance. Full suppression of opposition. Government regulation of industry. Those are the definitions. You don't have to start killing everybody to be fascist. Hell, the Democrats were acting like fascists too, and I've been saying that. Same basic functionality. But the United States has been divided in these two places. But we're still the United States. We'll figure it out, right? No. It's the same people making both happen. The radicalization of the Democrats, the radicalization of the Republicans. Same asshole, both cheeks. If the United States then goes this way to socialism or this way to fascism, what's down here? Communism. The same people that are dividing us, they don't care which one it is. They just want us to go all the way so they can get us here. You see big AI coming into play like that, we'll be able to program everybody, period. You already can't even tell what's real. People already share stuff that's fake all day long. But then the stage play can work better is you'll have AI tell you what's real or not. And then see, it won't take very long, 6 months, a year, 2 years, maybe 5, if they take it slow, where everybody will trust AI to tell you the truth. And then one day, you won't even know when, AI will lie to you. And you'll basically be in the sci-fi THX 1138 with a propagandizing Jesus-like figure telling you what's up. You see, we're already on meds. We're already on everything else. I grew up in the 1980s. Was that the last time that we actually got to be real Americans and people, into the 90s? When I started becoming a young adult, I remember this vividly. You may laugh. I mean this seriously, not as an attack. Everybody got fat. And you know what? I wasn't attracted to fat women. And I still resent that, but I remember it. But when I was young, I thought everybody was lazy, and I didn't get it, and I resented that. But the fact of the matter is all of our food is toxic garbage, created to make us addicted. We got rid of smoking in the 90s, but everything else became addictive because it's more profitable and not obvious. Then these came out and made us pawns, brain-dead pawns, automatons, zombies, addicted to the internet, no longer creating anything, no longer working with our own two hands, no longer talking, no longer connecting with our common man, whatever that is. That's the best way to divide us, isn't it? Communism. Who? Everything's been taken away. Everything. I know it. You know it. If you take everything away from someone, what do they have left to lose but fight? Why do arguments devolve into physical confrontations and fistfights? Because communication is over. There's nothing left. The fight begins. It's the same thing socially. I told my great uncle the other day, he's been around for a while, a lot of family, his family before going into all the major conflicts into the 1800s. He flew on nuclear B-52s over the polar ice caps during the Cold War when it was mutually assured destruction with the Soviet Union. He flew an F-4 Phantom supersonic through Vietnam when it was hot and heavy over the jungles, and then later. And I told him what I thought. AI is so much more dangerous than nuclear war, and that's already bad enough. More than bad enough. What's left? I did the Omega car, it gets over 100 miles a gallon, it's recyclable and all that. It doesn't matter. It never mattered to any of these people that control us, that manipulate us. These evil tech billionaires, these functioning psychopaths. They don't care. Hell, J.D. Vance, I know actual clinical psychopaths that show more emotion than he does. What does that mean? How about old Trumpy? Is it possible that he's so damn brilliant that he can be the bad guy for a while to be the good guy? Maybe. But I doubt it. You see, I've believed in so many people over my entire lifetime, from students I've mentored to people like that, because I know what's possible, and I know what I do. I know you can always bet on me, or I can always bet on me. But you know what? Every time I've done that with people, I've been disappointed. I'll tell you another story. Back when that schmuck wanted to manipulate me into being a congressperson, which to me, there were times it wasn't worth it. And I would tell him off. Because it's what, $174,000 a year job where you have at least 2 credible threats against you and your family's life every month. Everybody wants to just ruin your life. It's worth it. Have that hellish job just for the fight to make America better. But I don't believe that's possible anymore. But he had me speak to one of his old opposition research guys. Works for presidents, past presidents, and billionaires. Which means if you're a presidential level person or a billionaire, you can hire people who have this power. He was able to confirm with me my social security number in less than 7 seconds, and he didn't even know my real first name or where I lived, right over the phone as we spoke. And I said to this guy, I'm like, that's interesting. I said, but if you can do that, that means they can do that, whatever opposition. What's to stop them from just going into all my bank accounts and everything and just ruining my life? And he said this, well, they can, but they'd be fucked because we can trace it. I said, okay, interesting. And that's when I realized that global politics, federal level politics, and even somewhat state, but there's still some patsies in state level, and certainly below, they all already know everything about everybody else. You don't think Trump and all of them know everything about the other party? You think they don't already know everything about all the other players in the world? You think they don't already know everything that's happening with Epstein's Island or who's blackmailing who? You think that hundreds of thousands of kids go missing just for no reason at all? You think that the CIA just manifests money out of nowhere? They all already know. Because to them, the game they're playing is a theater. We're not supposed to know they know. It's a cold, thermonuclear social war is what politics is. When will one come out and just tell all the truth in a way that can't be erased? They may die quickly thereafter. When? It's not for us to know. There are no social classes. We are the idiots. We are the slaves. And it's their game. It's their psychopath game. That's exactly what it is. I don't mean it as an insult. I mean it direct. Yes, I hate all of them. It's not about being an American. It's not about being a Republican or a Democrat. It's about being a human fucking being. And all of our leaders are not. They already know. And I already know every single way they can destroy everybody. AI will just make it so easy to manipulate everybody, to make the rest of the public believe anything they want against anybody. You've seen it in sci-fis. Capture anybody at any moment, know what it is, thought crimes. It's over. I'll keep moving forward. But I know this. I don't really have anything else to say other than this. I hope you've enjoyed my card channel, the things I've said and done. You know, people like to collect ammunition and guns in the United States of America. And if it makes you feel good, great. Do it responsibly, and maybe that'll matter. But this isn't World War II. It's not going to be the metaphorical dogfights above Europe or the Pacific in a Mustang or a Corsair. Modern warfare is an F-35. F-35 doesn't actually turn that well. An F-35 will get its lunch eaten by like an F-18 or a 16 or a 15, but it's electronic. Warfare today is like samurais running at each other. One dies, or they both die. There's no dogfight. Computers control it all. They can destroy anybody at any time they want for anything. One of the classic things is planting people with kiddie porn. You never see what that is. You never know. They just plant stuff on people's computers and ruin their lives and move on. By the way, do you know how easy it would be with social media to instantaneously figure out who all the pedophiles and predators are? Do you know how easy it would be to actually create a tactical team of ex-special ops people, maybe dads, to take them all out? Very easy. But they don't. Because somebody's profiting off of it. Abortion's kind of ugly, isn't it? We can't even cut that back. Why? Big industry. Don't you think those little fetuses and their stem cells and all are probably really valuable somewhere to some industry? Yeah, that's what we're talking on. But they want us fighting, they want us being emotional and stupid. What do we have left? We live in a stage play of world global psychopaths that already have complete power to make everybody think anything they want. If you want to look at my polls on my channel, go ahead. And if you're smart, you can find the psyops and the themes. But I was at least happy when I did one thing. It said, which of these sets of numbers is the most evil? I think I said something like, what is it? 20, 30 million people, Russian Bolshevik Revolution. 63 million people, Roe versus Wade. 10 to 15 million people, Germany, 1930s, 1940. Or 100 plus million people, communism, 20th century. Communism being the most evil, followed by Roe versus Wade. Funny, old Hitler's way down the line. You know, I don't really believe any of our history anymore. If you just look at the numbers, all of our narratives, all the things we've been sold are lies. They're all lies. Why? Why is it the people who get vilified the most all over? Figure out what they shared in common. Don't look at the negatives. You might find out why they had to be taken out, discredited and destroyed and be made the bad guy. Why is it the big evils of the world are left to continue? Guys, I'm sorry. My true feelings is there's no point in doing social media anymore. There's no point in fiddling with cars. It's all distraction and a hobby, and I hope you guys have fun. I hope you do. I've already done all my videos. I don't really have anything else to say. The world in the United States is not going anywhere positive. There's no real future. It's all a stage play. I find that insanely disheartening. I know that if we end up in any wars or world war, we will be fighting the wrong enemy. Look at the commonalities of all the evils in the world. Look at what's behind that. And if you really do that, if you really trace all the way who's making everything happen and where it can go, you'll find the real enemies. You know, if I had a normal job, or if any of the little dreams I've chased throughout my life would have panned out, I wouldn't know all this. Maybe I would be happier until I'm not, because I live in the stage play. All I can do is raise my kid and hope there's a future for humanity or anything else. Yeah, I love this nation because it was the best experiment ever. United States, but the founding fathers couldn't have foreseen certain things. And I don't know where there is to go anymore. Uphold the past. Uphold who you are and your values. Learn to get along. I'll leave you with one last thing. Logic is very powerful. Logic, if you let it, will even make you figure something out. I'm just going to tell you this. I did a logic experiment, started with, can a person exist without a soul, and what is a soul? And I will only tell you this. It's real. The statement, made in the image of God, is way more literal than you think. All the Christian, shall we say, metaphors, tropes, and stories line up and are correct, but don't take them literally, even though in a sense they are. I don't want to say what I think I know, because in a sense that would be God's IP and would be giving you a shortcut to the human experience. But you have to do what you think is right for people and the future now. You can't just leave it to God fixing it for you. That's the wrong way to go. No matter how much you get kicked in the balls or shitty your life is, you have to truck through. You have to create. You have to make things better. But the soul is real. Stand up for yourself. But think, because we're all being manipulated. I don't really have anything else to say. We cannot let Israel drag us into a war. and it's going to be ugly. They're going to kick and scream, but we can't. See you guys next time.